All right, do we have the whole crew? Good day, everybody, and welcome to PMI Jamaica's, it's a makeup meeting. So as promised, given that we did not have a meeting in July, given a hurricane had passed, but this week we chose to have two meetings in September to make it up. That would still mean we're gonna have a chapter meeting in October, which will be the second Tuesday, and that will be next week Tuesday as well. All right, so welcome and thank you everybody for joining again. Again, my name is Nico Patterson. I'm the VP or Director of IT, and I'm joined here by, we have Rapson, who will be delivering his presentation today. So before we get started, we can just do the usual. We can talk about the welcome, and let's talk a little bit more about PMI Jamaica, and and talk about you, our members. So first of all, again, thank you for joining us. Second is I'd like to recognize any of the members who have done like any new certifications. So are there any members here who have recently sat the exam or waiting on a grade or any PMI examination? So we're talking about the CAPM, talking about the PMP, risk management professional, portfolio management professional. Feel free to raise your hand, and you can also you can raise your hand and you'll be unmuted and you can turn on the camera if you choose. So anybody, any new certification holders, any new PMP, any new CAPM? I see no hands. Anybody in the chat? All right, all right. All right. Also, um, like to say a quick hello to all our past presidents and volunteers. I do see Sir Craig Peru in the chat. Good day, Craig. Would you like to say something? Any other person? All right, all right, all right. I'd say let's us Craig Peru. All right, thank you, Craig, for responding. All right, so before we get going, we always try to remind our members of what our mandate is. Anybody have an idea what the mandate is? Anybody would like to share? You can always unmute. You can even type it in the chat. What is the PMI Jamaica's mandate? And for our yes, and for our lucky winner for that, I say I have a gift. So anybody who can think of or can tell me what the PMI Jamaica chapter mission is, I do have a gift. Something really nice. And PMI logo, everything. Any takers? I see I have a tough crowd today. All right, so let's just let's get to it. So again, thank you everybody for joining. And that this evening we have joining us today. Uh, 1 second. Lovely, lovely. All right, so we have joined us today, uh, Mr. Rafsan Husenov. Did I get it correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Lovely. Okay, so Rafsan is a senior IT program manager with over 13 years of client-facing experience across diverse industries, including manufacturing, supply chain, fintech, edtech, and IT. Rafsan has been leading enterprise-grade digital transformation projects, particularly through the use of SAP, Lean, that's Lean,
Lean IX.
Lean IX, thank you, and
Yeah,
Microsoft business
correct.
applications such as Power Platform and Microsoft 365. So inspired by PMI's triangle, he believes that technology plays a crucial role in IT projects and promotes innovative ways of working. With tech skills and modern tools at their disposal, project managers can streamline manual processes and break silos and drive innovation, which is I mean, that's something that we really do need. He's a Microsoft Business Application MVP, the most valuable professional, and holds a master's degree in applied economics. He's a certified as a PMP, PMI ACP, Discipline Agile Senior Scrum Master, hello sir, and PMI Citizen Developer Business Architect and a Power Platform Solution Architect, among many other among many other credentials, quite a few
You
credentials,
don't
sir.
have
So, anyway, so he's
it's
a
wide
passionate
journey.
advocate. Yes, a passionate advocate for citizen development. He empowers project managers to build their own technology solutions, and he champions a structured approach to digital solution crafting, believing that methodical strategy should guide the development of the journey, regardless of the technology used. So today, Mr. Rafsan, he knows it. He will be delivering his presentation today on to enhance project team collaboration with Microsoft Loop. Please, everyone, could you just give him a virtual hand uh, and welcome Mr. Um, let's welcome Rafsan to the lecture, please.
Right. Thanks, Nico. Thanks for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here and happy to share the knowledge experience that I gained over these years. And I'm going to share my screen. I will share two times, actually. The first version is I'm just only sharing one screen or a tab because I have one video I would like to display. That's why I will use the tab audio version. So I'm going to share. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Perfect. So let me go ahead and start. So today's topic is all about Microsoft tool, Microsoft Loop, and how we can leverage it in project management settings. So today's agenda, basically, I'll start introducing Loop. What are the key benefits of Loop? What are the key components of Loop? How we can leverage in Microsoft Loop in project management, and then we will learn how we can integrate other apps and services with Microsoft Loop. And that's going to be very short, actually. The most of the time I will spend for hands-on demo. If you want, you can also follow along, or otherwise this session will be recorded. You can also go ahead and watch later. And then I will also talk about limitations and best practices. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So before I start, Nico did already a great job. Just a little bit information about myself. Senior IT program manager. I work one of the Fortune 500 companies doing program management, and I'm also Power Platform Solution Architect and Microsoft MVP. In my YouTube channel, I constantly post videos about how project managers can use technology such as Power Apps, Power Automate, Microsoft Loop, and Copilot to enhance their project management processes and also upskill themselves in technology. So feel free to visit my channel whenever you want to learn these technologies. So first of all, let's go ahead and start with why we need to learn new technology. We already use a lot of technologies, and why we need to learn new technology that basically includes a huge learning curve. So according to Microsoft World Trend Index, 64% of people they say they don't have energy and time to do their work, and one of the reasons because a lot of times they are doing manual work. Technologies that they are using are not integrated. There are a lot of silos, and that means that we need to spend a lot of time doing manual process. And as you can see, that's kind of frustrating. And one of the ways that we can increase our productivity using modern tools that can bring all the teams together, increase the collaboration, and etc. And today we are talking about Microsoft Loop is one of the tools that we can use to enhance our project management processes. So I'll go ahead and play this video. It's just 2 minutes video. Then we can dive into the discussion.
Say goodbye to the frustration of jumping between apps and losing track of documents and ideas. Microsoft Loop transforms the way you work, so you can think, plan, and create together like never before. Loop is made up of workspaces, pages, and components. Let's break it down. Create together with shared workspaces for each of your projects. On the Loop homepage, you can access all your existing workspaces and create new ones. In a Loop workspace, you can bring everything you need for your project together in one place. To kick off a workspace, Loop can even do the searching for you, making it easy to add existing project-related information and organize it into pages. Continue adding to your workspace as your project evolves and organize it the way you want. Loop pages are flexible canvases where you can react, comment, and build on each other's ideas. Notifications help you track the things you care about and focus on what matters, all while staying in the flow of your work. Copilot in Loop helps you ideate and co-create. Get inspired with AI-powered contextual suggestions to transform the way you create together. Don't let app barriers slow your project down. Easily share information with people outside your workspace with Loop components. Components are portable pieces of content that stay in sync across all the places they have been shared, no matter where they are updated. You can share components and create new ones, like lists, tables, paragraphs, and more, across your favorite Microsoft 365 apps. You're always in control because it's easy to see where components were shared and who has access. However you work, wherever you work, Loop enables teams to think, plan, and create together like never before.
Awesome. I hope you guys like this because Loop is all about collaboration. Let me go ahead and continue. All right, just high level. I think we had a lot of information from the video, but overall, the core of Microsoft Loop is basically it's a collaboration app. It brings all the team members together. It brings all the project-related artifacts into one collaborative area that we can all see what's going on, where are the team members working on, etc. And there are key components of Microsoft Loop in order to understand like this concept better. So I created this visual. So it starts with basically the workspace. Think of workspace is SharePoint site. So for example, you have a project and you create a dedicated SharePoint site to bring all the team members or announcements or the documentation into a single site. So, and that basically, as you can see, this act as a hub for projects where project files and artifacts can be accessed, managed, and shared. So you can bring everything into one SharePoint Loop workspace, and then team members will access it. You can collaborate there, and then if you want, you can share with others as well. The second one is Loop page. Think of in your site, you have multiple folders, or you have a Teams channel and you have multiple folders. And Loop pages are flexible canvases that allow team collaborate and bring their various components. And you will see the key point here is Loop component. And Loop components, these are portable pieces of content. This can be table, this can be list, paragraph, etc. You create, and wherever you create and share, it will sync the progress. You can create Loop components in Microsoft Outlook, and if you share in Teams, whenever you update your component on Outlook, it will also sync the progress in Teams. So that means that when you receive Loop components in Teams, Outlook, or OneNote, you don't have to actually go to directly wherever it's created. You can directly update it wherever you are working. So we will do practice together. And Loop has its own web application. You can go ahead and use it. There are some licensing information. I will also provide that information. There is also a mobile app as well, so you can also download and use it. So based on the license or Microsoft 365 plan that you have, you may or may not have certain loop features. So if you want to get access to all the loop features, you will need to have one of these Microsoft 365 plans that includes Business Standard, Business Premium, E3, E5, A3, A5, etc. If you have a personal Microsoft account, you can still get access to loop components on your, for example, you can get access to loop app itself, but you will not be able to use it in Business Outlook, Teams, etc. If you work for any large enterprises, but you don't have any of these mentioned plans, you can still use loop components on your Teams, Outlook, Word Online, Whiteboard, etc. So having any of these licenses that I mentioned, Business Standard, Business Premium, E3, 5, etc., you will be able to create loop workspaces as well as add team members, remove team members, etc. On the other hand, if you have Office 365, E5, E3, and E3 plans, you will be able to create loop components in Teams, Outlook, etc. You will also get access to Loop app, but you won't be able to create Loop workspaces. Also, if you are wondering whether I can use Copilot in Loop, yes, cool. There is Copilot in Microsoft Loop, but you will need to have any of these plans plus Copilot for Microsoft 365 plan. So if you have, for example, personal, if you are using your personal Microsoft account and getting access to Loop application, and you have Copilot Pro plan, you won't be able to use Copilot and Microsoft Loop. So those are more designed for enterprises. So benefits of Microsoft Loop are basically in project management, you can manage project and tasks. So in Loop page, you can create project tracker. These are basically a table, and there are already built-in templates, for example, Kanban boards, progress tracker, etc. Or you can customize a table on your own way, and this way you can bring all the team members. It's also connected to your Azure Active Directory or Microsoft Entra, so the people who are in your directory, you can type their name and you will get access to them, for example, when you assign the tasks. But the main thing here is all about project collaboration and brainstorming. Loop gives you that ability to collaborate wherever you work. It can be on Teams, Outlook, Loop application itself, etc. That's the core of the Loop application. And note taking, I will show you today, there are many ways that you can take notes in Microsoft Loop. One of the ways you can, for example, use collaborative meeting notes in Teams. This way, during the meeting, instead of just opening any other, for example, app that can be OneNote taking notes, inside the Microsoft Teams, you can take notes. If you
it's not bringing anything new, but I didn't want to do it. In fact, because of the constitution change.
So inside the Teams right now, if you look at, there is in the ribbon, there is a notes. If you click, you will not see anything, but I will show it to you later how we can add meeting notes while we are in the meeting. So, and how we're gonna leverage Microsoft Loop today? We will do project planning, we will do project tracking. You can do, for example, team retrospective, data gathering, brainstorming, etc. These are the couple of the things that I use for every day, but there are more capabilities that you can go ahead and leverage on your own settings. And integration with other applications and services, there are already native integration between these applications. You can use in Outlook, Planner, Microsoft To Do. There are some additional applications. For example, you can also bring Microsoft Jira issues and Trello boards inside your Microsoft Loop. And I would say it's really, really cool because instead of, let's say you start your day instead of opening all these applications, you can bring them inside your Microsoft Loop, and now you can get the updates within one application instead of just switching the applications. So now it is demo time. So if you want to follow along, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can watch the recording later. So I'm gonna stop sharing again and share my entire screen because we will switch applications. All right, so I just want to confirm, can everyone see my screen again?
We can see the presentation, so yes.
Okay, so now let's see how we can get access to Microsoft Loop. So you can go to your Office 365, and here you can basically click apps. And if you scroll bottom, you will see Microsoft Loop is here. This is one of the ways that you can get access. Otherwise, simply just go to loop.cloud.microsoft, and I'm gonna post that in the chat. So first thing, when you sign in, of course, you will need to sign in. Right now, you can see that's me. So you will see this view. Again, depends. Okay, depends on what kind of Microsoft plans you have, as I mentioned earlier. So you may or may not have ability to create Microsoft Loop workspaces. Right now I have 2 workspaces, and as I mentioned, workspaces like very high level. For example, you have 2 projects, so you can have 2 workspaces, 1 for each of your project. You have 5 projects, now you can have 5 workspaces. So to create a workspace, it's very simple. You can just come here, create new, and create a new workspace. Let's see what we have in our workspace. If I click any of them, so you can see I have these different loop pages. I can collapse this. And here, for example, if I come here, project execution, I just list this based on the PMI process groups. We start, let's say, with project planning, and I can have these project planning page. And as you can see, I can add as much as information I want, and this just continues. So there are better ways that we can manage this, because otherwise sometimes it can get so big that can be harder to manage. But otherwise you get the idea. I can just collapse this and add more information, and I can share with others as well. So, and on the other hand, if I come back here, you can see I just created the folder, and inside this folder, I have different documentation, for example, 2 PDF files. I can also bring additional project-related documentation, etc. So I have another loop page, this time for project execution. I can have like different pages for example, doing competitive analysis. You can see here, and I can bring all the team members here. So let's go ahead and create a new workspace together, and we will see the different capabilities. So here I will come back, or if you are in the main area, all you need just come here, click new workspace, and this time I will call this demo project. I can invite the team members right away, but I wouldn't recommend. So first of all, just kind of configure your workspace, create different loop pages, and then you can bring your team members, or you can co-create with your team members if you are starting something together. If you click continue, so this time what it does, it goes ahead and search your basically OneDrive to find if there is anything related to the workspace that you create. And this is AI driven, because since I mentioned demo project, it went ahead and look at the information. For example, project brief. So I can take this information or this one. So if let's say I can view this, I can select, and I have more options here. So I can just simply click this one and click create. Right now, I will not select anything, but you get the idea. So you can even bring those in the beginning. So if I click create, so this is empty workspace that I have. By default, it creates the first loop page. And there are a couple of ways that we can start populating or creating our loop page. The first one, as you can see, by the way, I selected the one document here, and you can see it already bring that here. So there are two ways that we can create loop page. We can just create from scratch, or if you come to template gallery, we have all these built-in templates there we can go ahead and leverage right away. And from the project management perspective, so let's explore what we have. We have project brief. So if I click use this template, it's just right there. All we need is just select and it will create that. And the project brief, you can see it adds most of the information. To start with, I typically would use Copilot to create a custom template for me, or I can select from here. And the first thing you do, basically, if you are in the project, you go ahead and add the goals and identify the team members, their roles, etc. What are the high-level project deliverables? But this is not just, you can easily go ahead and customize this. For example, I can come down, and from the hierarchy perspective, you can say this is our workspace, this is our loop page, and we have loop components as well. So if I click this plus button, now I can go ahead and add more information. For example, I can come here and click call out. For example, I can add information. This project is about replacing Excel-based project tracking with Power Apps. Those who don't know Power Apps is basically Microsoft low-code, no-code tool is designed to create custom applications using low-code, no-code instead of pro-code. And from here, for example, I can come here, I can move this block up and down if I want. But this is one of that. So here, for example, if you look at here, what we need maybe comprehensive project tracker. So if I come down here, I typically add divider, and then you can also click /, and this way you can select these templates as well. So you have pre-built loop page, but you also have pre-built loop components. For example, I can come here and add the progress tracker. And as you can see right now, we have, for example, work area, create a solution design. I can select the team member. Right now in my workspace, I have only 2 team members. But as you can see, this is already connected to my Azure Active Directory. I can select myself, and status, I can say, for example, in progress, end date, I can put this, and whether if I have any blockers. But I can come here, easily add another column. I can add new columns. And one of the really cool thing about tables in Loop, you can easily switch view to both. And right now, this is basically going to be like Kanban view. So we can easily use like the cards instead of having that rows. And here, for example, let's say I have completed this task, I can make this ready for review. And here we have different options. Right now I have only status as a choice, but if I have multiple choice columns, I can also group by, for example, status, group by priority, etc., or milestone. And I can easily add another tasks here. For example, I can come here, say, create a project, plan, description. I'm not going to add anything, so select this, and notice, since I didn't invite my colleague into this workspace, it adds him here, but I need to give him specifically access. And here, if I click, it says share and notify. Right now, I'm sharing my loop page with my colleague, and status, I will select, for example, not started, end date. I can add more information, but here, this is another great benefit. I can also add more information inside just one single cell. So this is really great. For example, I can type anything here. Friday. So you don't see it right now, but if you extend, you see this information. You can add as much as information you want. In fact, for example, in the projects that I'm running, we do a lot of testing. So for example, I receive emails, I receive chats, etc. Instead of forgetting them, I bring everything right here. So whenever I need more information, actually, so I can, when I look at it here, or if you use Copilot for Microsoft 365, when you ask question, it will have more content because it's also using Microsoft Graph to get this information. So this is a great way to collaborate with your team member. Now I will just come back to table view, and table view is really great because you can also extend this to make it larger, and you can also do very simple rules. So for example, whenever task completed, I want to receive an email from my team member that this task completed. I can easily do that. For example, come here. Again, if you look at, this is my table. I come here, click rules, and I'm selecting status equals. I can create multiple rules. The one rule can be when it's completed. I can set the automation, notify me in loop, or send me a Teams message, or send me an email to my Outlook account. Right now, I'll just use send an email, continue. It basically goes ahead and do the configuration to make sure I give permission. And here I specify which Microsoft account I'll just put myself. And I will say this task is complete. Now, if I click create flow, those who are aware, those know about Power Automate, this is similar logic. So basically you have a trigger and then actions. So whenever something happens, that triggers certain actions. For example, in this case, when team members select task completed, it will send an email. Let's test it together. So let's say I completed this task, mark it's completed. Now, if I come back to my Gmail account, so this is one information because I tagged myself. But now, if you look at, status was modified to completed by Rafsam Senov. This can be other team members as well, but you get this notification. So if we come back here again, we can also set another rule. This can be, this time, for example, becomes equals blocked or delayed, etc. So this way we can know which tasks are delayed, what are the reasons, and what we can do in order to make sure that there are no risks involved, etc. So you can also filter. So for example, status is, you can select any value here, apply. So this way you will see only certain values. So I have one lightweight project, for example, I completely use Microsoft Loop to track their project completion or progress. And every day I add like a couple of tasks and assign team members. Anytime they complete, they can come here and they can just update. This way they only see the tasks that are completed or in progress, etc. So by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. That way I can also, I think, provide more information. So this is one of the loop page, but let's see what we can do here. So this is just project brief. I can come here. I can this time leverage another project loop visit, which is project planning. So if I come here, you can see project planning. This has different components. This time you can see it's a little different. I can easily customize this again. So I'm gonna change this, easily select and drag it. And I will add another column. For example, this can be responsibilities. And this way you can see I can add the assignee or team member, and I can specify the role, and then I can also add what are their responsibilities. So you typically have, for example, project like business case or project charter, for example, background context, what's in scope, what's out of scope, any high-level assignments, any high-level goals. This loop page is basically all about your business planning template that you can go ahead and use it right away. And if you have any links, you can also bring it here. For example, in this case, I'll just come here, copy this link, I'll just paste here. Select this, paste it here. I have two ways of pasting. If I paste this way, this provides more metadata, but if you paste, let's say, if you create a bullet points or numbers, you can just paste here. This will paste it as a link. So these are the key differences. So let's say we have project planning instead of like we plan everything, but how about bringing Microsoft Planner? So we can do that as well. So what I do typically, I come here, I create a nested page. I'll just call this planner. So one of the loop components we have, it's called planner. So if you click, it basically goes ahead and just checks how many planner projects you have. Right now I have one demo project plan. I can select one of them. And now you can see I brought my entire planner here. So that means I don't have to necessarily go to planner to update my project plan or assign tasks. I can actually do the same thing here. For example, I can come here, do the add a task. Now you can see I just added this task. And if I come back to my planner, and as you can see, it's right here. What I can do from here, I can actually create a loop component. I can take this entire loop component, and I have this, for example, teams. I select my team member, and I can just paste it here. It takes a little bit time, I think. So team member, whenever they want, they can actually view all components, and this will take them to that planner. So, but if you use Jira, if you use Trello, that's also possible. You can, like how I did for planner, if you scroll bottom, for example, you can select, and this time you can also bring Jira, Trello, GitHub, etc. So another way to use, for example, I'll just create this. I will just drag and drop it here. And sometimes, by the way, if you see your nested page getting really confusing, and if you're looking for any information, you can easily click filter and sort. If you select activity, you can see now, you can see all of them in the navigation bar, or you can easily come back to hierarchy. This will respect your nested page. So here, for example, in my work, I create a lot of process diagrams, etc. So what I can do here, I can come and select and add a mermaid diagram. And if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, that's perfect, because you can just ask in loop to create a, for example, change process, and it will go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can easily use Microsoft Bing, for example. So I'll just copy this, select horizontal split, and select this and paste it here. Maybe I can. So as you can see now, it created the simple process flow diagram, but you can make this more complex. For example, create a like conditional branching, etc. But here, all you need, copy and paste that code, and it will create for you. And you can do the same thing. You can create a loop component. And now you can take this entire component. For example, where would you like to share this information? If you go to, for example, Outlook, create a new email. I can just simply copy it here. You have two options here, as of course, you can share it as a link or as a loop component. And if you share the loop component, everyone will see it, and they can also edit it within here. And you can see, for example, if I choose, if I change anything right now, it changed here, right? So if I come back here, you can see that information here. So that's the idea behind the loop components. Wherever you edit them, wherever you update them, it syncs the progress. So are there any questions?
Hi,
So this is, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a quick one. Suppose a team member leaves the project, and so you, or even if they don't leave, for whatever reason, you don't want them to get an update to a component. Is there a way to prevent that?
Absolutely. So what you can do, you can, if you are here, all you need, let's say you share the loop workspace with them, you can just remove them from here. That way they will not have access to it. Or you can terminate the loop access. Right now, you can see if I click see who has access, and that way, right now, I haven't shared this with anyone else, but if I share with any team member, you will see they have access, and you can terminate their access because you are going to be the owner.
Thanks a lot. That helps.
Excellent. So this is how you can use Microsoft Loop in application itself, but you can use Microsoft Loop in Teams, in Outlook, etc. So one of the ways that I use Microsoft Loop in Teams, if you come to calendar, if you, for example, if you are scheduling a call, let's say, And typically we were adding all those agenda items here, but if you scroll down, you will see it says add agenda. That's basically collaborative meeting notes feature in Teams. You can go ahead and add your tasks here. So during the meeting, you can actually add that information right here. So I'll see if I can use it actually in Teams. So if I select this send, that's a great question, Jonelle. For example, I'm gonna show you actually one example here, because there is actually a way, and Microsoft Loop just provides that information for you. So the one way I will show, you can create the rules in Microsoft Loop. That way, whenever someone changes something, whether task status is completed or in progress, etc., you will get notification. Depends on your settings, whether it's Teams or Outlook, etc. Or whenever team member actually updates anything, you will see kind of purple color in your loop component or loop page showing that this person updated certain fields, etc. So now if I extend this, what I see this information. And let me see if I can click join. Hope this will not put me on hold. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. So here, the same thing. If you click notes, that's actually your agenda. And during the meeting, you can go ahead and talk about, take your notes, for example. And here, this is actually your Microsoft To Do. If you click Add Task, I can add a task, due date, and you can add additional tasks. If you think this is not big enough, you can always open that in browser. And as you can see, like you can take your notes while you are in the meeting, and these will sync the progress. And here, if you come to meeting notes, there is also dedicated area in Microsoft Loop application just to keep track of your meeting notes. So if I click, and you can see the same, if I come back, for example, like this week I had a couple of meetings, let's see, and you can add as much as information you want. You can add, for example, notes, you can add files, you can add images, you can assign tasks, and etc. So I think this is really great way of engaging during the meetings, because you have one application and you can take the notes there. And if you think that's not enough, what you can do actually, let's come back here. I can share these with others as well. I can share as a component or a page link. I can even come back here, let's say calendar. I can take the entire meeting, copy component, and I can come back here and share with others. And basically we can co-create, co-update. Let's say I can come back here, I can add image. These are all flexible canvases. You can add as much as information you want, and you see, you don't need to open like various applications, take notes or add data. If you have one loop components, you can take that information. So what else you can do here? Inside the loop, and even right now, I can see that loop component. If you look at here, there is this button. That's actually a loop component. So if you click that loop component, it creates first paragraph, but you can go ahead and select other loop components. This can be team retrospective, Q&A, voting table, etc. And here, as you can see, you can add as much as information you want. You can copy. Now, let's say what I will do, product rollout, and you can add pros, you can add cons, etc. And you can, let's say, vote, and you can copy these, and you can ask your other colleagues, maybe sending them email, maybe posting on the Teams channel. For example, I can come here, start a post. All I need to do is just paste it here. And post on the channel so everyone can see and update it. And wherever, for example, if I add information here, I just added right now here. If I come back to chat, I see the same information here. So that's really beautiful because team members can update information wherever they want. You can also now add loop directly here. So if you click these 3 ellipses, you can bring loop. And if you want, you can also ping this. Like right now it's pinned. And this way you can get access to your workspaces. Right now I have 3 workspaces. Whether you can, if you want, you can also select any favorites we have, and meeting notes as well. Meeting notes are a really great way of capturing notes. And this shows everything here. So if you click, this will take you to loop application. But if you want, you can also bring. So I see one question. I like the collaborative aspect. However, I still don't understand how to prevent someone see when a team member updates or edits an item to have some form of track change. What if someone maliciously deletes the items? Oh, so there is, that's a good question. Again, whenever someone updates the information, you actually get kind of purple dot here. If you hover over, right now I don't have, because I don't have any team member right now, so you get that information. But let's say I'm in the loop application, so I am going to delete something. So let's say this one. I'm selecting this and then going to delete, right? So how we can restore this? If you come back to recycle bin, maybe refresh. Interesting. So maybe it will take a couple of minutes to show that update, because whatever you delete anything, it stores in recycle bin. Let's delete this one maybe. So I just deleted this. That should be added inside of my recycle bin. So again, like maybe it will take a little bit time, but here you can basically come and restore the versions that you have, and you will have everything here. I don't know why it doesn't show. So let me come here, maybe Power Apps. So, okay, perfect. So here you can see I deleted certain things, right? So if I come back here, I can easily restore deleted items. But that's only about loop pages and loop components. If you accidentally delete your loop workspaces, right now you can't restore your loop workspaces. Jonel, did I answer your question? Yeah, excellent, great. So perfect. So you got the information how you can use it, but you can also embed, for example, loop workspaces inside Teams channel. For example, if I come here, I can actually select. Right now, you can't bring loop application here. So what you will need to do, you can create a website. And this way you can just come here, for example, select the workspace. And from here, I can just come here, select workspace, copy link. One thing that keep in mind, whenever you share this in your Teams channel, make sure that team members in that Teams channel are also here. So if I come back to my Teams, now I can just paste it here and rename it to loop workspace or loop project, for example. Click save. Yes. I think something happened. So this way, this will take you to loop project. So there is really great integration capabilities that you can do. And also, if I come back to Outlook, so let's say I'm here. If I come home and click new mail, and you can also embed Microsoft Loop components here. If you look at here, again, this is not right now available on your personal Microsoft account. And here you can do the same thing. You can add, for example, Kanban board, and you can start populating for any project tasks, etc. And when you share, you can just easily copy and paste wherever you want. Team members can go ahead and update information. Yeah, Craig, go ahead.
Yeah, Ravsan, I'm really appreciating the collaborative aspects you're sharing. I see that it's great for collaborating with persons who are in my Active Directory. But what about persons who, like maybe external clients that I need to provide project reports for?
Yeah, that's also possible. You can do that easily, but remember, your organization needs to have permission so that you can share it externally. For example, if person is in your Azure Active Directory as a guest, you can easily find them. Or if you come here, for example, page link, if you come to settings, ideally, I wouldn't recommend sharing the entire workspace, but if you want to share the loop page, so right now, people who are in my organization, they can see it, or people who has access, or people I choose. That means I can come here and select what it can be name, group, etc. I can set the permission, whether they can view it or edit. So if you have a permission in organization level to share the any assets with external guests, yes, you can also do that here as well.
And the external guests don't need to be in my Active Directory at all.
No, they need to be in your Active Directory. So
That's,
Active Directory, basically, your organization can bring them as a guest. So if you go to, for example, I'll take you to Azure Active Directory. So you have users, right? So you can have also new users and invite external user. So you are inviting the external user, any organization on a person, that person actually will be in your Azure Active Directory.
all right. Thanks, Rafsan. That relies on an IT team that's very responsive. Some of us are not that lucky.
Yeah, but some organizations, they don't even allow external sharing something. So keep that in mind. So it's nothing related to Microsoft Loop because those permission levels set in IT level. So that's why I would say, yeah, you will need permission. But if it's permission allowed, yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Great, thanks.
All right.
I think what you're highlighting is that this tool is really designed to be used within the organization rather than for external collaboration.
So I would say that's my personal opinion. It's mainly for internal because external, if you have, for example, labeled data, right? So when you share it externally, it's challenging. I mean, the capability is there. You can share it. If you look at the Microsoft documentation, it's there. But externally, I think that depends on the teams, that depends on the organizations, whether they want to do that or not.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually stop sharing my screen. Do you guys have any questions?
Hi, good night. I had actually posted a question in the Q&A section. I have used a planner before for very simple projects. And I see during your presentation where you had actually imported plans from Planner into this application. So
Exactly.
I'm thinking with all the features that are within Loop, the collaboration and the project components as well, would I ever need to use Planner if I migrate to Loop?
So that's a good question. And I receive this question a lot of time. Is Microsoft Loop can replace any comprehensive project management software? I think no. It's really great for collaboration. And if you are tracking lightweight project tasks, that's perfect. But overall, I don't think it will replace Planner or like any comprehensive project management software. There is that integration because it's all about collaboration. So you can bring your entire project plan inside Microsoft Loop so that everyone can see it, can collaborate instead of going ahead and opening Planner in another tab.
I think what we could point out just to confirm that Loop is pulling, it is to pull different software together. It's not to replace those different bits that exist that they already exist. That's what I understand.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
And anywhere you make that updates, it actually syncs the progress. So you can make updates in Planner and that will sync progress in Microsoft Loop. And you can make update in Microsoft Loop for your project plan and that will sync the update with your Planner.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I'd like to ask a question as well. This is around where do you see a citizen developer champion within setting up or managing the Loop environment versus the actual project manager managing the project? Is there a difference or can that be the same person?
So citizen development you mentioned, Nico?
Who administrates this? Is the administrator
Oh,
for Loop would be the
yeah.
same person that is managing the project?
No, those are different. Like typically, if you have already ability to create a Microsoft workspace that's and like admins already created that, made that configuration for you, so you don't need to talk like take care of that process. So those are more in admin level. They set the organizational cloud policy and give you the access, and all you need just go ahead and create workspaces, pages, and collaborate with your team. But just be mindful whenever you share your workspace, because when you share your workspace externally, or when you share your Loop workspace with others, everyone will have basically edit access. regardless of which loop page, which component. So that's why, so if I share the entire workspace, which is demo project, the person who I'm giving access, they will also have edit access, every loop page, etc. So that way, in order to prevent that, I would always recommend giving access to only selected loop page for certain people. So if you have a project team, you would probably give access to workspace for all of them. But if you are working on certain areas, for example, data gathering or brainstorming on certain things, you will probably do in one project loop page. And that way what you can do, you can come here, page link, and share the page link with them, like edit and select the access, whether they can edit, they can view, etc. But if you select workspace, I think maybe Microsoft in the future, it will fix this or improve it. Right now, if I share this with others, they will have edit permission to everything I have in this workspace.
Yeah,
Did I answer your question? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, a similar question to, well, it's related to what Nico is asking, I think. I'm trying, like the previous questioner, to figure out where this fits within the overall Microsoft ecosystem. So Microsoft has an Azure DevOps tool, or are they used to? What's your opinion about how it relates? How does Loop relate to that?
Well, I mean, I don't think they are that much related because Azure is different, Microsoft 365 is different. Loop is part of Microsoft 365. And if you're talking about Azure DevOps, or more specifically Azure boards for project management, I would say they are very comprehensive, and there is no way that Loop, I think, can replace it. And Loop isn't designed for comprehensive project management. As I said, if you have a lightweight project, if you're using Excel, just go ahead and use Microsoft Loop. But remember, like creating all dependencies, critical paths, parent-child tasks, those are the things that you won't be able to do using Microsoft Loop.
Thanks. Yeah, it seems to me this is the kind of tool that maybe a Scrum Master would use rather than a PMP.
Again, like depends on, I mean, I use this a lot for workshops, for brainstorming, even lightweight project tracking. But for more comprehensive, like more like big projects, yeah, I mainly use Azure boards. Any other questions?
And we're back. All right. So there no more questions? All right. So from my perspective, this is comparable to Confluence, you'd say?
I wouldn't say Confluence. Again, like those are more for project management specifically. And this, have you ever heard Notion?
Yes. Yes.
So you
Okay.
can,
Okay.
yeah, you can compare Microsoft Loop with Notion.
Okay. That's fair.
But again, like there are capabilities, for example, for you can, add notes, you can create tables, you can create different, you can even create recording inside the Microsoft Loop. For example, if you come here, I use this a lot for training purposes. We launch a lot of releases as part of software development, and we have multiple trainings. So I created one Microsoft Loop page that stores all the links for the different trainings. And even I created like simple bite-sized videos inside the Microsoft Loop. So people can like showing how-to videos, how you can search certain information in the software, how you can create, record, etc. And this way people can go ahead and use it, because this is flexible canvas. I can add as much as information I want. And I can also create, for example, table of contents here. And now I have a navigation here inside the Loop page. If I click, for example, relevant links, this takes me here. So even though it's you can add as much as information you want, you can always create better navigation to navigate, provide your users with better navigation experience. Jonel, yes, it's part of Microsoft 365 subscription, correct. But depends on what subscription you have. If you have Microsoft 365 E5 or Business Standard or E3, you will not only have access to Loop components, but you will also have access to create Loop workspaces, add or remove team members. But here, easily you can find that information. I'm right now on Microsoft 365. Click All Apps. And if you scroll up and down, let's see. Okay, here is the Microsoft Loop. Any other questions?
It's you can create a place where the stakeholders can pull certain information, and given that it's like
exactly
connected to everything, you can give them that just the right amount of information that they can be, the stakeholders can be sated, and that because it's automatically updated from all the different applications that you may use, it's really it's a one-stop shop for project status
100%.
or just for
100%.
information.
Yep.
So
and there is also this status button here. Now, if you click status, you will be able to get how many tasks you have. You can group them, overall information about the workspace, and if there is any status labels, like whether you have statuses, for example, in progress tasks, etc., and team recaps as well. So the more information you have, the more status information you will get. This is getting really very serious application. Like I see like every week, every month, they're adding new capabilities. So I really like it. So I can even come here, for example, I have the search capabilities. I can search by name, for example. This brings this information for me. And I can also search Loop information in Teams, for example. And by the way, end of the Loop files, basically those are fluid files. It ends with .loop. So you can see it here. If you click, this will open that up. You can also search the information on Microsoft, on OneDrive as well. And here, this is very important information. I can show it to you. If you are asking, okay, I create those contents, where they are stored. Anything you create in Microsoft Loop application, it's stored in SharePoint embedded. Basically, those are the containers. If you create Loop components in Teams channel meeting or Teams channel, they are stored in SharePoint side. Anything you create outside of Loop app or Teams channel and Teams channel meeting, they are stored in Microsoft OneDrive, your OneDrive as a user. So that is, I think I'm wrapping up. So overall, and let's talk about the limitations as well. So let me close this. So limited integration capabilities with non-Microsoft applications. Right now, we can see there is integration with Figma, Jira, Trello, etc. But besides that, it's mainly integrates with Microsoft applications. So for example, I provided feedback. I would like to see integration with Mira, because you can actually, on whiteboard, you can use loop components as well. For example, here, I can come here, select and add a loop component. For example, I'll just task list. What I can do here, I'll just delete this. Select entire board and copy this. Maybe make it bigger. So I'll just add my entire board inside my loop component, and you can see it. And then what I will do, I will come back here. You can make this bigger. You can see it. I do a lot of workshops, so I use Mirror, not that much Mirror, but if you are a whiteboard user, you can easily leverage this. I can just copy this, copy, and now I can come back here, I can paste the entire component here. So you can see, like, I just created that loop in whiteboard. And anything I update, add information here, that will sync the progress here as well. And you can see I'm already here. So imagine you are collaborating with a couple of different team members. Yes, you have multiple meetings, but how about collaborating offline? So that's the way I think Loop empowers people to collaborate better, to see the updates, etc. I also want to talk about another limitation here. I noticed that when you create a table after certain rows, I know it's like maybe 100, 120, performance and filtering getting really slow. So keep that in mind. And again, limited functionality when compared to specialized project management software, whether it's Azure boards, whether it's Microsoft project, etc. So let me continue one more time. So conclusion, I think Microsoft Loop is a great tool to streamline your project management experiences, because yes, we use project management software, but those are just task tracking. How about real-time team collaboration, working with your stakeholders, gathering requirements, creating user stories? I don't typically do that in the any project management software. I just use those software once I have clear requirements and put them for tracking purposes. And a single project management space that you can bring everything related to your project. And there is no technical expertise required, but I think it's getting a little bit, it's not about technical knowledge, but they're adding so many information, and I think it may take a little bit learning curve to learn and to use Microsoft Loop in more efficient way. But regarding the technical, no, there is no technical knowledge required here. So I think we did a lot of Q&A. If you still have questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. Other than that, I would really appreciate if you can fill out the survey. This will certainly help me to do a better job in the future to make sure that I deliver better presentations. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. I am very glad that we met. I'll stop sharing. Still, I think we have a couple of more minutes if you want to ask questions.
All right. So we do, yes, we do have a few minutes left, and we can leave the floor open. That's for at least one or two more questions. If not, we can just we can wrap up. So any
By
other
the way, I will
questions?
also,
Well, go ahead.
sorry, Nico, by the way, I will also send you the presentation deck so you can share with the audience.
Thank you. All right. So what we understand what Loop. So let's just give a, if I can give a quick synopsis of what Loop is. So Loop is a team collaboration tool within Microsoft. It's native. It connects with all the Microsoft tools already. So that's I think that it would encourage you to use the tools that are native to Microsoft, but it also integrates with external tools, and you can pull in that project information. You know, he's mentioned it's used for like brainstorming, or whether to collaborate on on a very high level, or even to from one department to another, whether there are dependencies between two teams and you want to share just specific information, or you want to just let senior stakeholders or any stakeholders be able to look at certain reports and be able from a glance, and not, not, let's say, uh, disturb the team for information that can be easily that they can pull themselves. So, to give them that peace of mind, and to give persons the ability to let's say do it themselves in a way. So for them to get that information, update that information, and keep accountable within the team, given that this can be done in real time and in collaboration with persons like on the go. So I do hope that each of us take the opportunity to try it out, to like reach out to different IT teams and see, or your administrators, and see if it's something that you could try to implement or use within your organizations. Roxanne, this was an excellent presentation. I try my best to have this available on, well, we do have a YouTube, and to have that also added to the website at our next update. So I thank you very much. Still, again, thank you very much, and I do hope that maybe we can collaborate with the chapter in the future for maybe other Microsoft tools and good stuff. Okay, we do have one.
Shari, go ahead.
Oh, wait, let's see.
Shari,
No,
I saw your hands up.
Oh, wait, I don't think her. Okay, you may unmute, Shari, if you please.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, I'm more than happy to do further sessions on Power Apps, Copilot Studio, Power Automate, maybe like Copilot itself. So those are really great tools. And if you are interested in citizen development, I will have a further discussion with Nico. And citizen development is basically about building your own custom solutions using low-code, no-code tools. So if you're interested in, just maybe you can reach out to Nico, and we can have another session for citizen development.
All right, lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's been a great evening. Please look out for updates. One, updates about the chapter election, and also about the IPMD coming up. And a few persons have shared their interest in volunteering for IPMD. Follow-ups are coming regarding that, and whether read the date and are the activities that are to come up. I believe that would be pretty much it. I'd like to share the PMI email address, which is PMI Jamaica pardon. It's PMI@pmijamaica.org. For general requests, my email is nico.patterson@pmijamaica.org, pardon. All right, let's double check in. All right, and or feel free to check out our LinkedIn and our Instagram pages for further information. I do thank you all for joining, and I have my best to have this information available to you for this and the previous chapter meeting before our next chapter meeting, which again should be next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. I thank you all for joining us this evening for this makeup meeting, and I'm happy that we were able to provide value to you all. Before I wrap up, are there any questions, whether not necessarily about the presentation itself, but whether chapter matters, or just any questions that you'd want to raise before we wrap up? Yes, so you'd have to report this meeting yourself within your dashboard. It is one PDU for way of working. So one way of working PDU. It is not showing. Okay, okay. All right. So let's see if I can help with that. So I maybe could. All right. So if it's not showing, so this PDU, or this is not. It's not preloaded. So I believe you would have to report it yourself. And may have details on joining the chapter. No problem. Right. Could you pardon? So this is. Thank you. Please, if you could send me an email, Ms. Montague Doyle, and read the PDU. So this you'd have to report yourself, but it's not shown as a meeting. So it will not be shown as listed in the meeting. You'd pick the chapter, you'd enter the actual meeting name, and thus you'd select what chapter. Oh no, it will not be listed under the title. So pardon, let me see if I can do this quickly. So let's go through that. So PMI, in order to PMI.org. So in order to report your PDU, you enter PMI.org. Lovely, lovely. You'd log in. And then you head to your dashboard. Let's see. This activity appears to have a PDU claim code in the title. Okay, just double checking. Dashboard. All right, so to claim a PDUs, please head to this page. Just dropping it in the chat. You would head to so I'm going to share my screen for a moment, just so I can help. Where is it? Here we go. All right, so this is the page. It should take you. It should take it to login, and it's ccrs.pmi.org/claim. Once you're logged in, you should head to this page which says report PDUs. You go to organization meetings. The host is the Jamaica chapter. It should pop up. The title of the meeting is, if I were reminded, just the exact words are enhanced team collaboration with Microsoft Loop. Oops, nope. Actually, so okay, pardon. Okay, so I believe there's no claim code, so I believe it should follow through though. This is meeting number, let's see. And let's just choose today. PMP, it would be ways of working. Okay, cool. All right, and I believe it should work. If not, I would have to reach out. Oh, description. I got the copying directly from the description in the chat. Control V. And let's see if it takes it. If there's any issue, I will gladly reach out to see if there would be any changes. But I believe you should be able to ignore that red mark there. So ignore the red warning. Okay. So I believe because I'm aware that there was no claim code created for this. I believe that, and I cannot also prove that it can be what's the word? We can also ignore this. I'd say ignore the warning, please. Enter the title, enter the description from the invitation, please, and just use today's date. And I believe if you should be okay. You assign your PDUs based on what your certifications are. That both are the DSSM and the PMP. So I can add it as it um, add it in its required spot. Is there any other question? Is there anything that I might have missed? All right, lovely. So I'll double down. I'll see if why we get the red mark or the activity appears of the PDU claim for the title. It may just mean that there may be another activity with the same name, but with a different chapter. All right, please have a good day, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. And have a great evening. And I see you again next week, Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much and have a good day.